The Big Blue Nation happy to have their Wildcats back home in Lexington. A locker room full of youngsters who've never lost here. 11 straight this season, 44 straight dating back 3 years. And their head coach knows that against the Razorbacks of Arkansas tonight, his Wildcats will have to have their track shoes on. And our Super Tuesday presented by KFC continues from Rupp Arena in Lexington. It's the SEC on ESPN and a matchup of the #2 team in the country, the Wildcats of Kentucky against the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Kentucky, one of 2 teams unbeaten in league play through 2 weeks. Vanderbilt's the other, but Arkansas is in a group right behind with a 2-1 mark. Welcome to Lexington, everybody. Brad Nessler along with Jimmy Dykes. Jimmy, last week we saw Kentucky have to sludge through a couple of opponents in Auburn and Tennessee in a slow-down kind of basketball game. Tonight, I think Mike Anderson's pace with Arkansas coming in here is going to be a lot different.
Yeah, Mike Anderson has his thumbprints all over the Arkansas Razorbacks right now. Auburn and Tennessee, they averaged a combined 51 shot attempts against Kentucky. Grinded out affairs. Not going to be the case tonight. Arkansas comes in, Brad, getting up 61 shots per game, and it's their defense that creates the havoc and the chaos. What do they want? They want 20 turnovers and 30 deflections. If they get that, this thing could be a ball game.
Kentucky comes in only 1 loss on the season. With more on the Wildcats, Shannon Spake. Shannon?
Well, Brad, 24.5 million people tuned into last week's BCS National Championship game between LSU and Alabama. And Coach Calipari for the Wildcats, he was one of them. He is now using that game as a learning tool for his team. Because despite their 17-1 record, Coach Calipari not 100% satisfied with his team's effort. He's told them this last week, if they played the way the Alabama players did, they played every single guy on that field, they did their job the entire game, this team would be scary. And the message this week has been, make every possession count. Brad?
Coach Cal always looking for perfection. As we take a look at our one-on-one tonight, Arkansas, every 4th trip down court, that's pretty special.
Well, they are so good with hot hands around that basketball. It's all set up by their ability to score the ball, Brad, but they can really force you up the side and create a lot of havoc, a lot of turnovers. Important that they score off the turnovers. And for Kentucky, now the last 5 games, averaging more turnovers than assists. The last time they were effectively pressed in Rupp Arena was against Louisville. They turned the ball over 21 times against Louisville. How much progress have they made against full court pressure? We're getting ready to find out.
Let's take a look at their starting lineup for the hometown Cats. Teague and Miller, Kidd-Gilchrist in the backcourt, Terrence Jones and Anthony Davis up front for John Calipari. And for the Razorbacks, Mike Anderson, Ulysses Nobles, Wade, Ricky Scott, Devontae Abram, and Michael Sanchez up fronts. And they don't even have their leading scorer in the starting 5. That would be B.J. Young, averaging 15 a game, leading all SEC freshmen. But Mike Anderson loves the fact that he's bringing him off the bench, and he gives him some instant spark when he comes in offensively. Mike Nance, Joe Lindsey, and Tony Green, who's got the ball in hand, are officials tonight. And we're all set from Rupp Arena. And Kentucky will get the first crack at it.
Arkansas, a very handsy, very physical man-to-man defensive club. Kentucky's going to have to negate that physical play tonight, being strong with the ball.
Double team on Terrence Jones. He had to give it up. Got it. Kidd-Gilchrist trying to throw it underneath, and Kentucky throws it away on its first possession. So that turnover to assist ratio Jimmy was talking about a minute ago already shows up.
Arkansas drive heavy in their half-court attack.
Inside, tough shot and blocked by Kentucky. The #1 shot blocking team in the country's got their first one in the opening minute. This time they get it in to Davis in the low block. He draws 3 guys on him. Ten on the shot clock. Teague looking for a screen. He's going to try to take it all the way himself. And he drew a foul. And that's going to be on Devontae Abram. Abram picks up his first foul. Coach Cal in his 3rd season. He's never lost here at Rupp Arena. And Mike Anderson, his first year back after being a longtime assistant at Arkansas before going Alabama, Birmingham, and Missouri, where he was successful in both spots. So happy to be back where things really started for him. And he's got a good young team. They'll find out how good they are tonight here in this building. Darius Miller off the glass. He was kind of quiet against Tennessee with only 4 points the other day. He's got the opening 2.
Well, good job by Miller, though, to really fight for the spot that he wanted to get to on the floor.
And the Hogs turn it over.
Watch Darius Miller. He catches this basketball, and he knows he wants to get to that SEC logo. That's where he lives off of on the offensive end, and he has been determined at Tennessee and to start this ball game to get to that spot.
Miller, same spot as the last time. Same score as the last time, but he can add one to this.
He is going right at the hip of the Arkansas defenders. He's not going around contact. He's going through what possible contact could be there. This time it's Mardrakus Wade, and that's no match. That's the problem Kentucky causes for a lot of teams, Brad. They are so big. Darius Miller, a 6'8" 3-man.
Yep. Wade's the guy who got through. Nobles is the guy that actually slapped his hand en route to the basket, but he did miss the free throw. Chance for a 3-point play goes by the boards, but he's got the opening 4 points for Kentucky. Arkansas, their last win at Rupp Arena a long time ago. Long shot on the outside. Terrence Jones pulls down the miss of Ricky Scott. Oh boy, Kidd-Gilchrist, and now Abrams got foul trouble already. That's 2 on him.
Partner on the season, Mike Anderson's up against a team in Kentucky that they score 49.5% of their points in the paint. That's right there at the same level with Syracuse and North Carolina, Michigan State. They pound that thing, the power part of the floor, and make you pay.
Mr. Versatility, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist with his first points. And immediately, Devontae Abrams got to sit down. And Mike Anderson's got to go to Marvell Waithe off his bench because of 2 personals here in the opening minute and change.
You can see Kentucky not afraid to put their gas pedal down as well by picking up Arkansas full court.
Sanchez outside jumpers off the mark, and Teague with a rebound. And now Kentucky looking to push it. Kidd-Gilchrist lob to Davis. Arkansas is going to go without a timeout. They go to the rack, and it's a block shot by Kidd-Gilchrist. 8-0 start for Kentucky. Almost an over and back there as they got it back to Teague. Packet right back inside, and that is an offensive foul on Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and that at least stops the onslaught by the Wildcats. John Calipari saying, jump over him. He had a chance to. This was the previous play. Davis just went up and touched it off the glass.
I'm not sure that was an offensive interference. Close by the look of that right there now.
3 minutes in, and the Razorbacks looking for their first points, and they get it with Sanchez on a slam.
Arkansas very aggressive at baseline drives and baseline rim runs out of their on-ball action. Everyone on the floor, with the exception of Teague for Kentucky, will post you up. They will test your post defense.
And Darius Miller loses the ball as Arkansas is going to get it on a possession arrow. So their defense pays off there. Here's Deron Lamb, who for the 3rd game now is coming off the Kentucky bench. He had started before that, much like B.J. Young on the other side. He comes in and he can provide some instant offense. Darius Miller sits. Lamb takes his spot.
Kentucky defensively one of the best clubs in the country. They lead the nation in block shots. They block 3 out of every 20 shots taken by an opponent. That's an alarmingly high rate.
Nobles try to go inside. He had it stolen away. And on the other end, Kidd-Gilchrist can't handle a pass from Lamb. So Kentucky gives it right back. B.J. Young coming in now for the first time. Averaging 15 points a game, which is 6th in the conference. Coming off a 19-point game in the win over LSU in their most recent victory.
Brad, he's wired to score. He's going to get up 1 shot every 2 minutes that he's on the floor. And Arkansas looks a whole lot different offensively when he's on the floor than when he's off the floor.
Kidd-Gilcrhist picks up his second foul. Timeout just under the 16-minute mark.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by KFC. Bring something different to the party with KFC sauceless hot wings. Now just 50 cents each. And in part by Haywire. In theaters this Friday, directed by Steven Soderbergh. And the Capital One Cup. Learn more and check the standings at CapitalOneCup.com.
You're watching Super Tuesday presented by KFC on ESPN, featuring great college basketball from the Southeastern Conference. All college basketball games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN3 are streaming live on Watch ESPN all season long. Download the Watch ESPN app today or visit WatchESPN.com. We'll have more action in this SEC matchup right after this. 15-6, 11-17 remaining in the first half on our Super Tuesday presented by KFC. We mentioned 44 straight at Rupp Arena, 45 if you count the game over at Memorial and the NIT 4 seasons ago. Duke is next in line in Ohio State, North Carolina. 11-0 at home this year for Kentucky, and in the midst of a 9-game winning streak, which is their longest of the season. And they have come to play tonight against Arkansas.
Arkansas motion offense, Brad. They're not setting a lot of screening action, a lot of one-on-one in their offense. And Kentucky is really dialed in their one-on-one defense.
Noble's fadeaway. And the rebound is Davis. Teague all the way. He had his rejected. And the outlet Madden is a 3-on-1 for the Razorbacks. Madden just does it himself.
And that's a quick, hurried, probably a 50-50 shot out of Teague. This, in Arkansas's eyes, it's just as good as a turnover. And Arkansas rips and runs and scores with about 32 on that shot clock.
Teague saw his teammates attacking the rack and trying those reverse layups off the window. The taller guys got away with it. He didn't. Davis has been the leading scorer so far. Miller is next in line. And here's Jones in the paint with a right hand rejected. Knocked out of there by Mickelson. He's the number 3 shot blocker in the conference. Pull up baseline jumper. That would have been a big shot, but it doesn't go, and Jones pulls it off the backside.
So far, Kentucky much more comfortable with this pace than Arkansas is. I mean, Arkansas just can't get going. Again, they want this thing to get up and down the floor, and Kentucky can play either style.
And cheap foul on Mickelson. That'll be his second. Timeout, 9:38 till halftime. Kentucky, double-digit lead, 9:38 remaining in the first half. Our college hoops continues on ESPN. A pair of ACC matchups Thursday at 7. Wake Forest takes on Seth Curry and the Duke Blue Devils at 9. Harrison Barnes in North Carolina taking on Virginia Tech. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. Coming up Thursday nights in the ACC. Here it's been Kentucky the entire way. They jumped out to an 8-0 lead and have led in double digits most of this first half. Arkansas unable to find any kind of offensive flow at all so far. The Razorbacks are 4 of 15 from the floor. That's 27% roughly.
Right on the year, Kentucky holding opponents to 33% from the field in the first half. Now that's a terrific number. And it's I think it's also tied into the fact that Kentucky's playing defense right there in front of John Calipari, so the scouting comes into effect. The voices from the sidelines are helping, but that 33% field goal defense in the first half is extremely low.
Overall, 35.6% is number 1 in the SEC. And they've proven that tonight against an Arkansas team that probably had their best game against Mississippi State as far as shooting, maybe their best overall game. One of their 2 wins. But tonight they're struggling on the road, and that's been the case so far for them this year.
But their scoring comes from their perimeter, Arkansas, and right now they cannot get clean looks. The size and the wingspans of those white uniforms just really taking away a lot of their vision.
Here's Sanchez in low, and Jones went up for the block and instead got the foul. Terrence Jones' first foul.
Well, Sanchez is an effort kid, Rad, and he's You know, not a terrific scorer, shooting a low percentage on the year, but he's good at setting screens and then making strong drives or rim runs without the basketball to get in that scoring position.
60% free throw shooter. Senior out of Springdale, Arkansas. And Michael Kidd-Gilchrist playing with 2 fouls will come back in, and Teague will get a breather. So it's going to be a little different look at offense for Kentucky, but Kidd-Gilchrist will have to be careful out there defensively. Sanchez missed them both.
Well, you cannot leave points on the floor when you're the underdog on the road like Arkansas is. And that was a missed opportunity at a 3-point play, and Arkansas doesn't get it done.
Lamb just ran by his defender, but he missed the shot, and Waite will clear the glass. Leading scorer for Arkansas, not on the floor right now, B.J. Young.
Look at Kentucky. They're not getting overextended defensively.
That reverse layup's a good move by Waite. His first bucket. Gets it to 10 with 8.5 to play in the half.
And no problem with Kentucky against the pressure so far. They're getting that ball to the sidelines and then off the sidelines after about 1 or 2 bounces.
Miller wanted to go back inside to Jones. They bring it around the perimeter, and now Kidd-Gilchrist with a pull-up jumper. Rebound off to Ricky Scott.
Well, they get so many shots off that dribble handoff action from a 5 to 4.
And there's a rejection by Davis, and that ties the single-season school record. His 83rd as he whapped it off the window. Shannon will be talking with Coach Cal when we return. 10-point lead for Kentucky with 7:55 in the half. 20-10, Kentucky lead. Shannon with Coach Calipari during the break.
Coach, this week you talked about physical toughness with your team. What have you seen out of them so far this game?
Not bad, but we got to do it for the entire game. I mean, we got to come up with balls. There's a couple rebounds, couple shots being blocked. I'm saying dunk the ball. Don't lay, dunk the ball. You know, they're coming right at us on drives, and again, we got to show that aggressiveness where we're playing them without fouling.
Some of the guys that have really stepped up, your veteran players, how have they set the pace so far in this game?
They've done good. I mean, that's what they should be doing. They're our veterans.
Thanks, Coach.
Anthony Davis on pace to shatter the single-season shot block record. This ties the mark that he now shares with Mel Turpin and Andre Riddick, one from the 80s in Mel's case, Andre Riddick from the mid-90s. 83 block shots already for number 23.
And Brady gets 2 blocks to every 1 personal foul. So this is a young man that, you know, he stays on the floor. He's only picked up his 4th foul only 3 times in 18 games, and he does it from all different spots on the floor. Coming into tonight, he's blocked 7 3-point shots. He's blocked 46 2-point jump shots, and now 30 layups. So he does it all over the half court.
Yep. He has 3 or more blocks in all but 1 game this year. Think about that. That's how you add up to 83 in a hurry.
He is the most impactful defender in college basketball so far, and I think he will continue on that track all season long.
Wiltshire, outside jumper, drains it.
He comes in to pick and pop. Good-sized kid that has a strong base. And as soon as you clear from him, boy, he pops to those 15 to 18-foot jump shots as well as anyone Kentucky has.
Up and under. Madden got away with it once, not that time.
Boy, they make you reevaluate your shot selection, Kentucky does, with all that length.
I was just going to say, I wonder why B.J. Young is not out there when Arkansas is so in need of offense. He just made his way to the scorer's table. Wiltshire's going to try a triple. This one rims out, and Nobles will have the rebound. Under 7 in the half. The 12-point Kentucky lead.
Arkansas has had some success, partner, driving the basketball.
That's about the only success they've had.
The only thing they've been able to do.
Sanchez loses the handle. 6th Arkansas turnover. Lamb trying to turn it into points on the other end. Will have to earn it from the free throw line as Madden fouls him en route.
I was talking about Anthony Davis and where he blocks shots from. He has such a terrific feel, and those are the numbers I was talking about this young man. He's more than just a shot blocker, though. I mean, he understands help and recovery. He has hands like a point guard around the basketball. I mean, he can rip it from you. He talks really well. And all the fine parts of the defensive end of the game, this guy's got.
Waith and Wade come back in for Arkansas. As Deron Lamb, 82% free throw shooter, doesn't miss often. 3 points on the night. Got them both. The lead goes to 14.
B.J. Young, number 11 for Arkansas, is the guy that Arkansas has to get looks for. I mean, he's their shot maker. He's the guy wired to score.
Waith not close on the jump shot. Teague pushes it again. Trying to get the entry pass into Davis, and he is pushed from behind. Saturday, ESPN's got a full day of college hoops for you. And some top-ranked teams. Big 12 Baylor losing last night for the first time, taking on Missouri at 2. Syracuse, Notre Dame at 6. It's all coming up Saturday right here on ESPN.
Well, what an atmosphere last night, huh, between
Wow.
Baylor and Kansas. Thomas Robinson just continues, to me, to force himself to the lead and National Player of the Year race.
Had a huge game again last night. He is a man.
I would have Jared Sullinger right there behind him. McDermott and Creighton would be third on my list. And then these two kids from Kentucky now, Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, they're going to figure into that conversation before it's all said and done.
This has been so lopsided. The full house at Rupp Arena really hasn't had that much to cheer about. 16-point lead with 6 minutes remaining in the half. Young has yet to score.
Just watch off the ball. There's a couple of screens on this possession, but just not enough screening action right now to free guys up.
There's a good drive again. That's the only way Arkansas has been able to score for the most part, is on the drive. Deron Lamb on the drive is going to have to give it up to Teague. On the pick and roll, got it back to Wiltshire off the window.
Same thing as 2 or 3 possessions ago. And he doesn't get in a hurry. Wiltshire doesn't. He's a young kid, and a lot of times young guys, Brad, they get in that pick and pop situation. They pop too quick and they shoot too quick. Not this guy.
Young trying to spin his way to an opening for a shot, and Davis rejects it. And there's the single season record as Kentucky comes the other way. Wiltshire lines up and fires. And the rebound. Wiltshire trying to save it. It's going to be Arkansas ball. But Kentucky's got a new record holder. Single season block shots. It's Anthony Davis, the 6'10 freshman out of Chicago. Here it is, number 84 on the year.
Brad, because of his ability to block shots, you have to have in your offense guys that can make non-rim drive shots and high glass shots. And if you can't do that against him, then he has the ability to get 5 or 6 or 7 block shots in a ball game.
He sits down. They just made it known up here on the scoreboard, however, of that 84 block shots. And Anthony Davis, AD as his teammates call him, get a standing ovation from the crowd at Rupp. Nobles just pulls up, pops one up there, and hopes it goes in because nobody has an eye to be able to hit the outside jump shot right now. I'm not sure they have one, to be honest with you. They have 6 field goals, and I don't think any of them have been on outside jumpers.
You know, Arkansas had a go-to guy, Marshawn Powell, after the second game. He's averaging 19 points and 6 rebounds, blows his knee out. It was just a huge hit to this Arkansas team. They are so young, still in ways trying to recover from that.
Terrence Jones, that's just a muscle shot. His first basket, and he went through 2 or 3 Arkansas defenders to get it.
Negate physical play. John Calipari has challenged his guys the last 10 days. They have responded.
And now foul underneath. This one's going to be on Eloy Vargas. Right now, it's all Kentucky. They're doing it on a defensive end with their sensational freshman, Anthony Davis. Mike Anderson got some things to figure out. He'll talk to Shannon when we come back. Carl, get us one of those close games, will you? Right now, it's not 30-12. Shannon talked with Mike Anderson a moment ago.
Coach, you said this week that one of the keys would be to stay within striking distance. What do you have to do to get there?
We've got to have some poise and patience, and I think we've got to fight a little bit more on defense. I just think we're playing on our heels. We're not in attack mode, and I think Kentucky is. And we just got to settle down and make some shots and get some stops.
These guys continue to play with heart. What is your message to them right now to keep that momentum going?
Play together. I think play together. And don't panic. Just continue to play together. Chip away, chip away. We'll be okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Going to have to do some chipping right now as they're shooting 27%. Jimmy, they've had 5 different guys this year score 20 points or more. Somebody's going to have to come to the forefront here and start to hit some shots, even if it's from the free throw line. That would help.
I think it's B.J. Young. I mean, this is the kid that he gets up one shot every 2 minutes that he's on the floor. And so far in this game, Arkansas has done a good job of limiting him. He's 0 for 3. He's played 8 minutes, so he's getting some shots up.
Lamb with 3. Got it.
Such a hard team to zone because of their size on the wings that can shoot three-point shots. Miller on one wing, Lamb on the other. Very difficult to defend with a zone against Kentucky.
That was only the 5th three-pointer taken by Kentucky, the first one they've made, and now a double rejection inside. I don't know who swatted that, but I guess there's a foul underneath anyway. It's going to be on Darius Miller. But the other day against Tennessee, only 5 three-pointers taken by Kentucky, and that was the lowest ever under Coach Calipari. They've only taken 5 in this half, but the last one, Deron Lamb nailed, and now it's a 20-point lead.
You know, I think they shoot the ball well enough to win a national championship. A couple of years ago, that was the storyline all season about Kentucky. Could they make enough threes? And I think when you look at Deron Lamb and certainly Darius Miller, Teague will jump up and knock one down on you. Wilcher's got the ability. Kidd-Gilchrist kind of wills them in. They've got enough firepower from that perimeter, I think, when they have to have it.
Arkansas trying to set up some three-quarter court pressure coming off the free throws, and it pays off. They throw it away. Their 6th turnover. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the half, in a half that has belonged to the Wildcats, the number 2 team in the country.
3 weeks ago, Marcus Teague, I thought about 50% of the plays that he was involved in, he was going too fast. Now it's only down to 3 or 4, and that was one of them. His mind was going too fast, more so than his body.
It's a lot of what you do. Your mind's too fast for your body.
I tell you what, I shot some stuff, some footage for SportsCenter that's going to air tonight with Anthony Davis. You talk about a guy that can absolutely just cover you up defensively. And it's not just him. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, terrific defender. Darius Miller, terrific defender.
Lamb coming off the 3. This time gives a little ball fake. Finger rolls it in the paint. And he's got 9 points. Number 2 scorer right now to Anthony Davis for Kentucky. In traffic, there's B.J. Young, and he scored the last 6. 2 from the line, 4 from the field.
Well, that's just way too easy. That's a simple on-ball action by Arkansas.
Kentucky, cheap turnover. Wade's trying to beat Jones to the rack, and he did. And Coach Calipari is going to say, okay, guys, it's not quite what we had in mind heading to the locker room. With 1:47 remaining in the half, the lead's been cut down to 14. Couple of ACC matchups for you coming up on Thursday night. Wake Forest visits the Duke Blue Devils, ranked 4th in the country. And number 8 North Carolina and Virginia Tech get together at 9. Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price in the ACC. Kentucky Wildcats the winningest team ever. And as far as winning coaches, Jim Boeheim, congratulations, as he matched Coach Rupp, who had all those wins here at Kentucky last night with a victory, and 20-0 start for Syracuse. Next in line, Dean Smith 3 away. Coach Knight retired, at least for now. Coach Krzyzewski with 9:15.
Where do they get a picture of Coach Knight in a pink blazer?
I don't know. It had to be at a dinner someplace.
That's the first thing I want to point out.
I know.
That Syracuse ball club, Brad, you and I talked about it over the weekend. I would still take Kentucky's top 6 over Syracuse's top 6. But Syracuse, when you get to that 9th and 10th guy, that's where they're going to chew people up.
Yeah. Lamb feeling it. This time it won't go, and somehow Wiltshire pulled that off the back of Wade. He goes back up with it. And now Nobles. Arkansas trying to make a little run here late in the half. Young scored their last 6. And trying to go for 3 more, couldn't get it.
And you heard Mike Anderson talking to Shannon, and Arkansas has just not played with that style that they have in place right now at Bud Walton Arena. And I think that's a growing process for Mike Anderson to establish how do we play at home, and then can we pack it up and take it on the road. So far tonight, they have not.
They're 13-1 at home. Davis, long arms to try to get the rebound, but one of the smallest guys on the floor got it away from him. Nobles. Young looked like he was thinking about a shot over the 2 long-arm freshmen. Trying to get a good shot away here. Arkansas to cut into the lead a little bit. Running out of room on the baseline. 6 to shoot. Young on top of the key. Nobles on the drive underneath. That's tough because you adjust your shot automatically in there when you're 6'1" against those big guys. Jones runs the court and tries to throw it down on Mickelson, and he draws a foul. And that's 3 on Mickelson.
I think Terrence Jones is starting to have more ownership in this team, Brad. I talked about John Calipari talking to his upperclassmen. I was impressed with his aggressiveness going to the rim, but I'm more impressed with this right here. To fight through the contact and Marvell Wade along that sidelines and get to the spot that he wants to get to. And Arkansas, again, they try to chew you up and kind of saddle you, put a saddle on your back when you're bringing up the sidelines. Terrence Jones had no part of it.
Terrence was trying to make a poster of Hunter Mickelson. Instead, he's got to go to the free throw line where he's 1 out of 3 so far. 3 points on the night. The 245-pound sophomore out of Portland. 1 of 2 Portland players on this Kentucky team. And he ripped them both. Gets the lead back to 16 with 16 to go in the half. Mickelson, they're going to get him out of there with 3 personals. And now Arkansas, Mike Anderson says, let's play for 1 good one.
Well, you'd like to get it up in time to give yourself a chance for an offensive rebound, but who's going to get one out there for Arkansas? It's a small team.
Young way up off the window, couldn't get it, comes free. They're going to get a second shot, maybe. Got to hurry, and it's rejected by Davis. 23 feet away from the basket, much like he did to Jimmy in practice yesterday.
Brad, if you get a clean look against Anthony Davis, you better take the opportunity. And that time Wade turned down a clean look, and he just invited Anthony Davis to get all over the top of him.
His 3rd block shot of the half. And so Kentucky goes to the locker room with a 16-point lead. As you take another look, those long arms, 7-foot 6-inch wingspan paying off. 37-21 as we go to the UPS halftime report. Carl and Steven standing by, fellas. Our Super Tuesday continues, presented by KFC, and it's the SEC on ESPN from Rupp Arena in Lexington, where it was all Wildcats in the first half. They led by as many as 20, got a 16-point lead as we're just about set to start the second half. The Wildcats really have a 44-game winning streak, trying to make it 45. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler with Jimmy Dykes. Arkansas, 31% from the floor. They haven't hit a three-pointer, and they've only hit half of their free throws. Now, you take the free throws out of there, I think you credit Kentucky's defense for what's happening right now.
Brad Calipari can really coach. I mean, he can really coach, especially on the defensive end of the floor. He still doesn't get enough credit for taking elite-level guys, top 20, top 25 ranked guys, and getting them to buy in on the defensive end, to talk, to help, to stay in his stance, to make tough plays. That's what you're up against right now if you're Arkansas.
Well, and a guy that you were talking about all night, who's not only a great shot blocker, but you said he's got great hands, and he's got our All-State good hands plays of the first half.
He's the best defensive player in college basketball right now, and he's more than just a shot blocker, but you see what he's done with 4 blocks, and he does it from all spots on the floor. That's his 8th block on the season from the three-point line. And he does it without fouling. He does it with an urgency. 23 in white is a handful.
Before we get going, let's check in with Shannon.
Well, Coach Anderson in the locker room, he pressed 2 words, guys, no fear. He told his guys he felt like they played a little timid in the first half. They played like a very young team. They got to come out here. They got to play with no fear, and they must keep Kentucky off the glass. There's still 20 minutes to go.
So hard to do at Rupp Arena when you've got 25,000 people screaming at you, and they're all wearing blue. We'll see how they do. Second half underway. Arkansas trailing by 16. Again, 13-1 at home at Bud Walton, but it's been a different story on the road. Teague knocks it away, and Noble's trying to track it down. It's not the way you want to start the second half with their 7th turnover. Here's what I was talking about. 31% from the floor, season low in points. They are 0 for 7 from three-point land, and they were 3 for 6 from the free throw line. That all adds up to 21 points.
Kentucky came in blocking 3 out of every 20 attempts that their opponents get up. Arkansas took 29 shots in the first half. Kentucky blocked 8 of them.
Davis, who did most of the blocking, taking an outside jumper. A little bit of 3, had it gone. Arkansas comes out of the pile with a loose ball rebound. It's Ricky Scott. And on the other end, baseline jumper, kind of a lazy shot, but the second time isn't for Devontae Abram. That jumper, he didn't look like he had a lot of confidence, but he had more confidence when he got inside.
Go back at the end of the year and grade how many rebounds are gotten below the rim. It's a majority of them are below the rim. And Abram that time got a below the rim rebound, something Arkansas is going to have to do in this second 20 minutes if they're going to have any chance to fight their way back.
Terrence Jones swinging an arm on a drive as he's fouled by Mardrakus Wade. That'll be his second. Anthony Davis, look at the numbers in the first half, 11, 7, and 4. Conceivably on his way to a triple-double. 8+ rebounds and 8 block shots, which is just 1 under their per-game average. And we still have almost 19 minutes to play. Three-pointer by Darius Miller. And that is a good start in the second half for Kentucky. Ricky Scott scoring for Arkansas. Quickly down court. Miller was thinking about the same shot. Instead, he moves a little bit to his right and drains another one. And now 11 points for Darius Miller, who only had 4 in the win over Tennessee on Saturday.
Brad, again, I think Miller and Lamb and Jones have taken more ownership in this ball club over the last couple of days.
And double block shots, one by Jones and then by Davis. Talk about getting over one hurdle and finding the other one to be higher. That's no fun when you're trying to shoot in there. Here's Jones offensively with a hook shot. And he'll go to the free throw line.
Brad, is a Kentucky team that can really just erase what you think is an automatic 2. Abram, first of all, is a below-the-rim player. He's not going to score over the top of people. And Anthony Davis, again, he can get rebounds out of his area. He can get block shots that are out of his area. I had a little demonstration last night with him that I think will air on SportsCenter later. That where does he feel comfortable blocking someone's shot against a guy like my size, a 6'1" guard? He can get to his shot, I'm going to say, about 15 feet away on a 6'1" player.
4.5 a game. As Terrence Jones, who blocked one also on the other end, got both free throws. The lead goes back to 19.
Arkansas has guarded themselves some in this ball game. Not moving, not cutting hard, not cutting with a purpose. Things that Mike Anderson told Shannon, don't play scared in the second half. Let's at least get out of here with our motors revved up, you know?
Yep. Wade in the traffic, somehow got it up off the window in between both those guys.
You have to be able to make 3 or 4 high-class shots a game against Kentucky. That's the first one that Arkansas was able to knock down.
And that was definitely a high glass shot with a little spin on it. Jones against Sanchez. They'll have to bring it back out. Good defense by the Hogs with 6 on the shot clock. But they lay it up to Davis beautifully for the slam.
Boy, how about Teague trusting where his bailout would be? Anthony Davis is as good of a bailout as you'll find in college basketball.
Three-pointer goes for Mardrakus Wade, and that is the first 3 of the night for Arkansas.
Right there is where they want to get on your backside and saddle you up. Whoa,
All the way for Terrence Jones.
that press has not bothered Kentucky in this building.
Nope, not at all. Foul's going to be on Jones. That'll be his second.
Go back to what Anthony Davis can do to you. You're going to see him on the opposite block, and that's a design play in the dribble drive offense of Kentucky to drive the ball with your point guard and get your big opposite of the drive. And a lot of big guys, Brad, they'll chase the basketball, get attracted to the action. Not Anthony Davis. He has terrific discipline on both ends of the floor.
The thing that's so demoralizing about that, Jimmy, is they'd worked it down defensively to 4 seconds on the shot clock, and then they give up a lob alley-oop for a slam. That's tough on your defense when you played great for about 30 seconds.
Absolutely. There were NBA scouts in the Kraft Center last night. Kentucky practiced from 8 o'clock to about 10 o'clock. There were NBA scouts there, and all eyes on Anthony Davis. And in my estimation, he is destined to be the next #1 pick in the NBA draft.
16-point game with 16 to play. Baseline jumper by Lamb, snatched down by Abram.
I've talked about Anthony Davis and Kidd-Gilchrist as a defender. Darius Miller guarding the ball right now. The guy he guards only has scored on 18% of shot attempts against Darius Miller. And he's not even talked about as the elite level defender on this Kentucky team.
In this case, he picks up a foul, but I agree with you. Kentucky getting the big guy involved on offense, and they lead by 16. Kentucky by 16, 15:29 remaining as they've led throughout. Couple ACC matchups coming up on Thursday night. We'll be around for those. 7 o'clock, Wake Forest visits Duke. Talking about home winning streaks. Duke's #2 to where we are right now at Rupp Arena. And at 9, North Carolina taking on Virginia Tech. Our Thursday night showcase presented by T. Rowe Price. ACC doubleheader for you.
What's North Carolina going to look like? I think that's what all eyes will be on that game because, you know, I was at their second practice of the year this year, North Carolina, Brad, and I left there, you know, very impressed, obviously, with their talent and their length and experienced guys. I was not impressed with their determination and their passion and their fight, even in their second practice of the year. That's the one thing I marked down that I had my eyes on in that 2-hour practice there. And it has continued to be something that North Carolina has not answered.
You can't be impressed with their defense against Florida State, I know that much. They got dismantled in Tallahassee. And possession arrow will be Kentucky's. John Calipari trying to tell Marcus Teague, listen, when you got 2 guys on you, go down and around and under. Don't try to go over Sanchez. Still learning, as all these guys are. There's the upperclassman. Darius Miller with 3 fouls. He's going to get a breather.
Now, one thing Kentucky's done well, though, they've been under control. They have not made passes off of a run-type situation. They've planted their feet well. They've been strong with the basketball. That's what you must do against this contact defense of Arkansas.
Haven't had a turnover in the first 5 minutes of this half. Sanchez is going to pick up the foul. It'll be his second.
Arkansas only 4 deflections in the first half, and they thrive off of it. Mike Anderson threw that number out today. They want 20 turnovers and 30 deflections a ball game.
Jones, a little too strong. Davis there to help clean up for him. 15 for Anthony Davis. Wade, and had it knocked out of his hands, but he's going to draw a foul.
But Arkansas plays with a small lineup, and as a result, they're giving up 40% on the defensive boards. So 4 out of every 10 missed shots by Arkansas's opponents right now in conference play, they're getting back. That's too high of a rate. And that falls on the guards coming down, and everybody getting those below the rim rebounds that Mike Anderson continues to talk to his guys about.
Mardrakus Wade, the sophomore out of Memphis. He's been the leading scorer in the second half for Arkansas. 12 for the game. Kidd-Gilcrhist alive to Davis. Mid-season wooden candidate to mid-season wooden candidate. Of the 25 still remaining. North Carolina and Ohio State, the only other two teams that have 2 or more players on that list. And now Davis pulls an air ball out and gets it to Teague. And he leads it on the other side for Kidd-Gilchrist.
Again, that press has not bothered Kentucky one time in this building. And I know that you're seeing the end result from Davis and Gilchrist and different guys, that Marcus Teague has been the trigger guy. He has started off with a nice pace, 92 feet away, and at the other end, it's Anthony Davis again, staying opposite the basketball. Drive it, get opposite, find the bigs, bam! All over Arkansas right now.
Kentucky by 19 again, 14-12 remaining in the ball game. Jimmy Joe, take us inside the play.
Well, the initial read or feel by Marcus Teague is impressive because Arkansas wants you to go this direction, and Teague knows, nope, I'm going to bring this ball here. That's the initial read and the initial play that gets this break going. Now watch right here. They get the ball to the middle third of the floor, and now the pressure's on Devontae Abram because what's going to happen, you got Anthony Davis sneaking in from behind. You start ball watching by number 4 in the Arkansas uniform, and Anthony Davis is all over the top of you. But the initial read and the initial play by Teague is what triggered the entire play.
DJ Young is back on the floor for Arkansas. He has not played that much tonight. Pull-up jumper and a foul. Will send Madden to the free throw line.
Brad, you and I can hear it sitting courtside, but another thing that Kentucky has improved on just since their game at Tennessee, they are talking much louder defensively.
Yeah.
And you can talk 2 different ways. You can talk loud enough for your teammates to hear. You can talk loud enough for yourself to hear. And Kentucky right now is starting to get to that next level in their talking defensively.
John Calipari made a point of that just at the shoot-around today. Talk to each other. Give me something. Let your teammates know where you are, especially on switch-offs defensively, which they've done a way better job of than the last time we saw them, which was 3 days ago.
That's what Kentucky's done tonight, taking care of that ball. That is so easy. That's just so easy. Kentucky's eyes are huge right now against that Arkansas press. It's just a matter of who's going to dunk.
Yeah, the percentage for the Wildcats, field goal percentage, just keeps rising, as do Davis and Jones with every slam. Wade on a drive, got it over Davis at least, but he had to really throw it up there to do so. Kidd-Gilchrist cups the ball and lays it in.
That's a special talent partner right there. And you said it today at the shoot-around, you don't realize how big that guy is until you're standing beside him on the practice court.
Can do all the things that guys that are 6'1" can do, and he's 6'7" and 200 and almost 35 pounds. Sanchez walked with it. Kentucky now shooting 56% with things like this going on.
And Brad, they continue to take the ball from the outer third of the floor to the middle third of the floor. And as soon as the ball gets there, it is over. Kentucky can just have multiple guys at different sides of the rim, and they're playing volleyball with them.
Terrence Jones, who's in double figures for the 5th straight game now. Here's Jones in the low block. Looks like he might have gotten something in the jaw or the eye there when he made that catch, courtesy of Nicholson.
Mike Anderson just looking for anything right now to get a little change of pace, goes to his zone. And again, it's so hard to zone Kentucky.
Lamb knocks down his second three, 12 points for Durant. And the lead continues to swell.
Brad, the smallest guy on the floor is Teague at 6'2". Everyone else has size, they have skill, they can handle, they can throw at the top of your zone.
Again, playing with 3 freshmen and 2 sophomores on the floor, Kentucky. Lamb's going to try another one. Davis, offensive rebound, back up with it, and draws the 4th foul from Mickelson. Deron Lamb, this is a 3rd game where he's been coming off the bench, and when he does, he can give you some instant offense. He's in double figures with 12. Kentucky running away from Arkansas.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by KFC. Bring something different to the party with KFC sauceless hot wings. Now just 50 cents each. And in part by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
They're having fun at Rupp Arena with their team up 24 with 7:53 remaining in the ball game. And it is We Back Pat Week, an effort to raise awareness of a fund that Pat Summit has set up to support her dream of finding a cure for Alzheimer's disease. During all the men's and women's games this week, every school will have its arena programs to boost Pat's efforts. Fans interested in finding out more can log on to the University of Tennessee official athletic department website. The winningest coach ever. We had a chance to visit with Pat over the weekend when we were doing the Tennessee men's game. 7-time National Coach of the Year, 8 national championships. And we hope you help us out on We Back Pat Week.
And what a beautiful lady, huh?
Yep.
And she will take on the challenge that's laid before her right now, just like she has every other challenge in her life. Head on. Want to make a difference in other people's lives along the way. And you and I both had the opportunity over the weekend to give her a big hug, tell her we love her and wish her the best.
Courageous lady and an awesome coach and a great cause.
Mike Anderson's got a young team on the road, and they cannot get into the style of game that he wants. Kentucky's only turned it over 8 times. Arkansas wants to force 20 of them.
Madden's got to force a 3 with a shot clock winding down. Jones rips down the rebound. Here come the Cats the other way. Darius Miller. Can't connect from the outside, but the rebound comes to Ricky Scott. Young outside. He has not been a factor at all tonight. He does have 8 points, but it's been the quietest 8 points you'll ever see. Miller leaves it up for Jones. And that might be it for Hunter Mickelson. If the foul's on him, I think that's 5. And it is, and he's gone.
Well, Kentucky just continues to have a jackhammer offense against Arkansas on that low block. Just pound, 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 pound. Whether it's in the full court press breaker or the half court man-to-man offense, and this time it's a half court zone offense. They get into the teeth of the defense and just throw that thing up around the rim.
Terrence Jones, 10 points on the night. And he fouled out against Tennessee, only his 2nd time in his career. No foul trouble for him tonight. So he extends the lead. There's his numbers, working on a double-double as well, and he's got 5 blocks, as does Anthony Davis.
Brad, you look at that talented Kentucky freshman class. John Calipari continues just to bring into Lexington, Kentucky. And I was tweeting with fans today this evening in my room, and I had a couple of questions from Kentucky fans. One of them was, who's the most talented guy that I coached when I was at Kentucky? That was a simple answer for me. Rex Chapman, man. You talk about a guy that had a flair and a swagger,
Did he ever?
a jumping ability, and an offensive explosion about him that was kind of new to Kentucky basketball at the time. And a terrific job in the NBA with management positions. But boy, back when I was coaching at this school, Rex Chapman raised the level in terms of talent and how he played, just like John Calipari's guys are doing now under him.
Darius Miller just slipped over there, and that'll give it back to Arkansas with 6:21 remaining.
Brad, you watch Kentucky defensively. They don't have to overhelp. They're one of the few teams that I've watched this year that really understands it and executes it. They guard the ball, and then they lock up on the other 4 positions. If you can't straight line drive them and clip their hips, they do not run to the ball without a reason.
And down in the traffic is Ricky Scott. He drew a foul. Darius Miller picks up his 4th. So Scott, a sophomore out of Irving, Texas, will go to the free throw line. All his scoring in the second half, 6 points. Just hasn't been enough scoring from anybody on Arkansas's team. They had come in having won 3 of their last 4 against ranked opponents. It's not going to happen tonight. Miller comes out. Lamb will go in. Darius Miller gets a nice hand. 11 points for him as he will get a breather with 6:02 remaining.
One of the underrated defenders in college basketball is Darius Miller. I think Aaron Kraft from Ohio State's the best point guard defender we have in the game. I think Anthony Davis is the overall most impactful defender. Darius Miller now again. And he has his guy. He has his guy.
Arkansas did get a turnover out of that one, and now with a 3-on-1 on the other end. Nice move up and under by Scott. And that might be the first turnover for Kentucky in the second half. They haven't had many anyway.
One of the maybe only 2 in this game that they've had turnovers that Arkansas was able to convert into points.
Exactly. And that's something they've done so well in their previous wins. Kidd-Gilchrist over the top of everybody off the window. Sanchez going to go in against the big timber. Had it blocked by, I think, Jones this time. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Again, the normal drives, the normal straight line stuff that you normally get shots off, not against Kentucky.
Jones does pick up a foul there, but that was the 12th block shot the previous trip down court.
And it's multiple guys. Anthony Davis does a good job of defending the drive of Sanchez and staying off of his body. Look at him continue to give ground, and then boom. When Sanchez leaves, that triggers Anthony Davis to leave and beat him up top.
And I said, I'm not sure who got it. They gave it to Davis, so that would be his 6th block shot. So Davis tonight, Kidd-Gilchrist and Teague, there's what they've done. Davis has only missed 1 shot. It is 24 points, which is a career high. He's got 6 blocks, double-figure rebounds, done it all.
We saw Teague with only 3 points, but I'll be shocked if John Calipari doesn't sing the praises of his point guard.
Yeah. Because
he has handled the flow of this ball game exactly how Cal wanted him to handle it.
Kidd-Gilchrist going straight up with a jumper and try to track down his own miss. Does. Just about took Mike Nance, one of our officials, out with him. And now Davis, off the miss by Teague, just keeps adding to his total.
But Brad, it all starts with the winning play of Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. He wanted that basketball up more than anyone else. And again, you must reevaluate your shot selection when Anthony Davis is on the floor.
Jimmy, that's 7 block shots to go with 26 points. And 13 rebounds. And that's a 3-pointer by Marvell Waite. If Coach Calipari leaves them in, and if Arkansas continues to try to go inside, we might be in store for a triple-double. Terrence Jones. He's got 13. Great balance tonight by Kentucky.
Brad, Davis has instincts, and you can't be a special defensive player if the coach has to teach you everything. Now, Calipari has filled this guy defensively with a lot of stuff, but Davis has instincts that has just separated him from anyone else in college ball right now on that end of the floor.
Down to 3.5 to play. Kentucky 79-58. Davis, finger roll off the window. Didn't drop, but he'll go to the free throw line. But he has done it all tonight. The 6'10 freshman. Career high in scoring and 7 block shots to go with it. Kentucky on their way to their 18th win and their 10th straight of the season, leading 79-58. Got a birthday wish to go out right now. 30 years ago tonight in Atlanta at a championship fight, I introduced Muhammad Ali on his 40th birthday. And Champ, I know you're not watching tonight because you're probably a Louisville fan anyway, and I know you got a party tonight. Just wanted to wish you a happy 70th and the great memories I've had in the maybe 5 or 6 times I've been around Muhammad Ali. Happy birthday, Champ.
I sat with him in a suite at a Final Four about 10 years ago, and or towards the end of the night, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to say, Champ, can I have my picture made with you? And he put his fist right up there by my chin, and somebody took a picture. It's in my office. His fist now, even without a glove on, major damage.
Yes.
Major damage.
3 minutes remaining here. 80-58. All Kentucky as they're ready to go wire to wire. They jumped out 8-0 run to start the game, and they have never looked back. Teague in some traffic, and he is tripped. Saturday, we got a full day of college hoops for you. A couple of games featuring some of the top-ranked teams in the country. 2 o'clock, Missouri takes on Baylor in the Saturday showcase presented by 5-Hour Energy. And at 6 o'clock, number 1 ranked Syracuse Orange, with their undefeated record on the line, they visit Notre Dame. Those 2 games coming up on Saturday.
All those wins and all those guys that are lighting up offensively from the Missouri Tigers, Mike Anderson's guys. I mean, he left behind a team. Now, Frank Hayes doing a terrific job, but Mike Anderson left behind a team that was ready to win a lot of games.
Mike went 23-11 last year, made the 2nd round of the NCAA. And there's his track record as a head coach after all those years as an assistant to Nolan Richardson in Fayetteville, and now the head man here in his first year, and a young team that will get better, play great at home. Right now, they're still trying to figure out a way to win on the road and learn how to win on the road. And unfortunately, this is one of the worst places in the country to try to learn that winning on the road thing.
Yeah, well, they weren't ready for Rupp Arena tonight, or the size or the talent level that Kentucky threw at. But don't be surprised if Arkansas doesn't knock off Michigan this weekend in Bud Walton Arena, because Mike Anderson's style and the confidence level of this young basketball team goes to a whole nother level in that arena. That will be a very difficult game for Michigan, I think.
3 on the shot clock. Teague scored the last time he was in this situation and does again. The 2nd time, as Coach Wooden would say, be quick but don't hurry. Remember, he had the drive. This time pulls up for a 13-footer and drains it.
That's where he's made the most progress. Brad, this is a Kentucky team that can absolutely win the national championship. And Marcus Teague has as much to do with that as anybody. They don't have another point guard that they can go to. This is a guy that's going to have to log 33, 35 minutes a game once they get into that March Madness. And all he has to do is make winning plays and not turn that thing over and trust the size and the scoring ability of the other 4 guys and defend his tail off. This team can cut down the nets.
Wade does a good job deflecting that ball out of bounds. Kentucky upcoming. Alabama Saturday here. They'll be at Georgia next Tuesday night on Super Tuesday. Jimmy and I and Shannon will bring you that one at LSU. And Tennessee here on the 31st. At South Carolina on the 4th. Teague coming out to a big ovation. Davis is done. Jones is done. The game's almost done. 1:15 remaining as Madden, they finally start hitting some threes. The Razorbacks, when it really doesn't matter. It's going to make the score look a little better. And that's about it.
Yeah, Kentucky's not going to lose in Rupp Arena. If they're going to get stung in this league, it's going to be when they have to go to Starkville, Mississippi. They have to go to Nashville, Tennessee to take on Vanderbilt. They get that return game when they have to go down there to Florida. If this young team is going to have those speed bumps, it's not going to be in Rupp.
Well, hasn't been for 3 years.
Has not.
Why change?
No, John Calipari doesn't know what it feels like to drive home with a loss.
And the only guys on this team that even know that going out of here with a loss would be Vargas or Darius Miller. They're the only guys old enough to have lost in Lexington. Nobody else has. And as Jimmy said, they don't plan on it. Final half-minute. Sports Center follows us. Vargas will pull it out. There's about a 4-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock as we wind it down here.
Speaking of Sports Center, you're going to see some behind-the-scenes footage that we shot over the last 24 hours that we've been in Lexington. Anthony Davis blocking a lot of shots and inside looks at Kentucky basketball in their locker room and different things. Just a little extra stuff we're going to give on Tuesday night.
You are a virtual Cecil B. DeMille right now with some of the things you show us behind the scenes with your fancy camera and your fancy gadgets. Fancy win tonight for Kentucky again.
I don't know who or what that is, but I'll take it as a compliment from you.
You should. 86-63. Compliment to the Wildcats who go to 18-1, the number 2 team in the country, looking all of that and then some tonight as they're perfect in conference play at 4-0. The Razorbacks will fall to 2-2. Don't forget, Sports Center is coming up next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jimmy Dykes, Shannon Spake, and our entire ESPN